Well, hello everyone. I'm a bit like buses, aren't I, in terms of my videos. There's nothing for ages and then they all come along at the same time. I kind of wanted to do a whole video and had a couple of things that I kind of like to cover with you. Because I have to say I've had a really good experience with eBay's help facility. I had a really strange thing. Someone bought a Hilfiger jumper off me, perfectly ordinary thing. They were in the States. They'd sent something to me saying, you know what, can you reduce the postage? And I kind of, I was having a bit of a thing with them really and thought, no, I'm not, no, you know, it would cost, I don't know what they were paying in the first place. I didn't want to get caught up in that, so I didn't get involved with it. So they'd made me an offer for the item, so I'd taken some money off it and thought nothing more of it. It's up to them to take it or leave it. They buy the jumper, and then periodically, because the jumper's going to take a while to reach them because it's gone through GSP, I've dispatched it, and then I start getting emails saying, I'd like some money off the postage. Can you send me some money off the postage? Looking forward to receiving your jumper. Can you give me some money off the postage? Well, I was getting a bit fed up with this, and I thought I can see some problems are going on here. And eventually they get the jumper, and I get this lovely email saying, well, I've got the jumper and it's absolutely lovely. Any chance for some money off the postage? What? So I ignored it because really I'd had enough by this point. I thought, you know what, I can't see any good coming of me engaging with it. So I didn't reply, I left it be and thought, up to them, you know, they've bought it, knowing what the price was and the fact that I'd given them a discount in the first place. So then I get a returns case opened through eBay. I'm like, oh crap, it's GSP, this is not well. And what was attached to that message was, you leave me no choice. So, and in fact in previous emails they had said, oh well, you know, I can leave you good feedback if you give me some of my money back. So we had three things going on here, which if you ever get these, you know, you're on a real surefire winner with eBay. If someone's threatening you with leaving you bad feedback, if they're obviously manipulating the system, and you know, any threatening behaviour isn't tolerated. So I've got the number to talk to somebody in Ireland. Now they may end up putting you through to some other department, but you end up talking to somebody who, if you're good at Irish accents, you're going to understand them. And that number I'm going to tell you guys, because there are a lot of numbers out there and they're very hard to get hold of sometimes. So try this. It's 0870 280 2390, and they're a lovely bunch of people. So I talked to someone the other day, and when I'd gone through it all, they could see all the messages that had gone backwards and forwards. They could clearly see that this person was jerking me about, to be perfectly honest. And they said, yeah, that's absolutely fine, wait until the 17th when it'll all come up as an opened case, where a decision has to be made to escalate it or close it, and then ring us back and we'll sort it out. Okay, so I've had a very busy day today, but I've done it. And I got put through to someone with a very strong Irish accent. I'm quite good with Irish accents, but this was a bit of a challenge. And bless them, you know, they eventually said, okay, I've got to then put you over to the USA department. I'm thinking, oh my God, here we go. I'm going to go round the houses and nothing's going to get sorted out. So I ended up speaking to this lovely lady in America, and I'm guessing it's fairly early in their day, given that it's about 2 o'clock here at the moment. And she sorted it all out and just said, you'll get an email from us saying it'll all be closed, your money will be freed up, there's absolutely no doubt with this. And they were delightful. So, you know, yeah, we can be down on eBay for lots and lots of things, but they can also be pretty good in these situations, because that could have been nasty if I'd been involved in returns and heaven knows what else. So yeah, thankfully all the communication had gone through eBay so they could see the emails. So happy chappy there. I was deeply chuffed. I think that was the only thing I was going to talk about as well, because that was quite important to me. I have a puss, a little puss. This looks very brown, very dull, and cost me the princely sum of, oh, his ticket's gone, 50p. Now I saw this little creature in amongst a load of deep tat. I mean, we're talking heavy level DEFCON 1 tat. And I thought, he looks quite nice, he looks well made. I've been in, hang on, let me see, I need to try and show you this. That doesn't show very well, but it does actually say Dalton. Now I know it's not Royal Dalton because I've got a mother-in-law who used to work for Royal Worcester and Royal Dalton, but it's a Scottish company, and although I paid 50p for him, I can probably get sort of 15 to 20 pounds for him because he's quite charming, and assuming I don't drop him, which, yeah, whoop, cloink. Assuming I don't drop him, you'll make me a little bit of money. I've been very inspired by the wonderful Walter O'Neill, whose channel Antiques Arena. Oh, if you want to learn about antiques, this man explains everything. Thank you, Walter, because he explains so much about what to look for, what's worth something, what's not. He's got hundreds of videos out there, and if you ever think, oh, I want to start learning about Georgian glass or Chinese willow pattern pottery, you know, check him out, because it's a great resource, and I like to learn that way, especially initially. I like to see what I'm looking at, know it, and then it kind of goes into the memory banks, and then if I'm out and about and I see something similar, I'm at the very least going to look it up. But that little pussycat was simply a, ooh, he looks fun, he looks well made, there's something about him, intuition thing. And intuition is always a good thing, you know me, I'm always banging on about that. Well, I thought I should go and do some photography, excuse the rustling, but I thought I'd show you the haul first, because if I go and do photography, I take the labels off everything, and then I can't remember what I paid, and then there's no point in me trying to do a haul video. So, anyone knows this brand? Stock, I think it is. This is only one part of the assemblage. God knows when babies became quite so complicated. Ah, feet. But this, and, oops, and this, oh, it's got a warning sign. Is that because that's near where the baby's bum goes? I'd put a warning sign there anytime. This amazing contraption is a baby carrier, and I have sold a couple of these, and I've got a couple listed. Not this brand, but this stock brand is a pretty high end, because I remember they do, are they called trip trap chairs? They kind of, oh, okay. They are the high chairs, and I remember I wanted to get one for my little lad, and then I saw one and realised that my lad was not little enough for it, and there was no way he was going to fit in a stock trip trap chair, because he was too long and too leggy and designed on a different game plan. So this has got a couple of little marks on it, but I will attack with baby wipes and remove any baby juice, as Carla would put it. That was actually part of a bundle, which I'm showing you, and I think I paid about £15 for the whole bundle. And what it means is each item worked out at around £2. So I pick up some weird and wonderful stuff when I'm out and about. This is deeply weird. I think this is a child's skirt. It's a bit difficult to show you, but it's very, very heavy linen, and it's all hand embroidered. And I'm doing research into it, because if any of you have seen this before, for goodness sake, tell me. It's all sort of made with a roughly skirt underneath. I think it's quite old, and it's like a national costume. This is what I'm researching. I've got a couple of stitches that are working loose and may need reapplying, but it's really, really lovely the way this has all been stitched on, hand done. I'm thinking possibly Eastern European, maybe, sort of national costume dress up, but it's got the skirt with what has to be the world's tiniest waist. Even by vintage standards, I'm guessing that's probably an 8-year-old child. But what came with that, there was, oh, it's not going to turn up now. It was like a little, oh, I can't say corset because that's wrong in terms of child, isn't it, for so many reasons, but kind of like a corset type thing that you probably put with a shirt over the top, so that it just gives colour, and it matches the colour of the band around there. So I kind of thought, you know, it's going to be good for something. So that was a good one. Oh, now I've muddled up my bundles, you see. Part of my bundles. Here we go, this was one. Oh, hello, you vanished. That's what happens, is the screen goes a little bit blank. Ah, and you've gone away again. Where are you? Where are you, lovey? There you are, right. Oh, I don't like it when it goes all dark. I picked this up because I rather like it. Oh, gosh, it looks like a dish rag on camera. Maybe I shouldn't wear it then. It's kind of got this sort of Bardo neckline. Very sheer sleeves with a nice detail at the end. It is silk. It is double layered. It's beautifully made. And it just says made in Italy, so there's no actual brand. Which probably means I'm not going to get great money for it if I sell it. And I see there's a hole in it. That's what happens. You can go through something over and over something time and time again. Well, in that case, I will be keeping that then, because no one's going to see it when you're wearing it. Well, got to have a fail or two. It wouldn't be tatting, would it, if you didn't have a fail or two? What have I got here? Okay, well look, I've got to show you the best thing I found. Yeah. He looks like Sooty. He's not Sooty. He is Sooty's cousin. He does have a name, I will find out, but he's in a cute school uniform, which for us is very appropriate this week. My son thought it was hilarious because he's right in the process of visiting every school in the locality and choosing where he wants to go. So this little chap, who did have a grubby face and I managed to clean him, is pretty rare and collectible. I think he's about £40 maybe, 40 to £50. And he was in Bernardo's, and our Bernardo's, where I live, is quite pricey. So I was quite pleased to see him. I paid £2.99 for him, and I didn't begrudge him a bit, because he's sweet. I have actually got a Sooty and a Sweep, so I could see about bundling them together. But I gather he's quite rare, and I don't have a Sue, because Sue isn't that rare, but I just haven't seen one yet. Good old Levi Strauss. These are 521s. They're quite high-waister. I do find the high-waist jeans sell now. It's that 90s look with a sort of baggy leg, where you get a wide leg and a slightly tapered hem at the bottom. I paid £4.50 for those. I've got 20 quid for them, surely. At the very least. I tend to be a bit haphazard when pricing my jeans. Very haphazard. And all I can say is there's a lot of cashmere out there at the moment. I'm grabbing it every time I see it because I know it sells fast and for good money. So this is a lady's cashmere. It's beige, but you know, people like beige. I wouldn't wear it. I mean, ugh, I look like I've died if I'm in beige. But there we go. That wasn't too hideous at £5. But again, I should be able to get 25 for that. That's Marks and Spencer's. I do check these so carefully for holes. But just remember, if you do buy one and find that it's got a hole that you didn't see, you can attempt to repair it and of course declare it. Or there are people that buy and pay reasonable money, so you certainly won't lose anything. They'll pay reasonable money for cashmere. Oh, I love the feel of it though. Pay lovely money for cashmere even with holes in, because they repurpose it and they use it for all sorts of things. So don't despair if you do find holes. You won't make as much money, but you won't lose completely. I've got everything in the wrong order here. This is why I'm slightly confused. Ah yes, this did come in one of my bundles, so it only cost me a couple of quid. But it is the brand that I also keep an eye out for. Oh, I can't do this, can I? Oh, there we go. I'll make you all seasick. Patagonia. This isn't the most valuable, and it appears to be sporting a few cat hairs that are not my cat. But I think this one is reversible because it has this sort of wind shootery fabric on the rustly fabric on the inside. So yeah, reversible, and that only cost me a couple of quid. And it's deeply practical for the coming horrible weather, so let me think, £17, something like that. I'm being really vague on prices because I thought if I take the time to go through all of these and put up the possible prices, I'm never going to get to actually do you a haul video. Now these are popular, tweedy style. These are the shorter trousers, and the ones that are halfway up the leg. I've never understood the sense of wearing trousers that finish halfway up your leg, but they can be a bit of a thing. People quite like them, especially with a nice statement boot. That's how they really work. And these are, they're monsoon, but they are a 16, which is a nice big size, a decent high waist. They're in this sort of slightly herringbone tweedy material, slightly bobbly. They were £2.50, but you know, I reckon I'll get a good £20 for those because they're nice and they're mostly wool. Also, if you get anything that's wool, like trousers and skirts, oh please God, it has to be lined, because otherwise it's itchy as anything. The merry world of jumpers again. What have I got here? Oh, yes, the colour of the season. That actually looks pink on the screen, but I can assure you it's red. It is, of course, anyone that sees these little labels with these little buttons will know that's white stuff. This is a 14. It's a jumper dress, and it has the most beautiful trim. I love this. If I was into these sorts of things, I'd definitely wear this. A lovely kind of lacy trim on it. Red is supposedly, according to whichever magazine, blog, etc. you read, the colour of the season. So when I see something that's lovely like this, I know that that's going to sell super fast. Yeah, white stuff. Chili red, they call that colour, so it really isn't pink. It's got some cashmere in it. So it's viscose, lamb's wool, cashmere. The amount of materials they can put into one jumper dress is extraordinary. But I anticipate that going out the door quite quickly for very little money. I think that was part, because it hasn't got a label on it, I think that was part of my bundle, so that's probably cost me just over £2. And it'll probably go for something like $19.99, maybe even more. I get as much as I can out of these lovely items. Oh, we're back at something with cashmere in. Here we go. This is cream, and unusually it's unmarked. So light colours generally don't do so well. This brand in itself is not always brilliant. Wool lovers, I'm not quite sure how they say it. But I will check them out, particularly when I think it's going to have something like cashmere in it. And this is merino and cashmere, so high quality wool end I will go for in wool-overs. I don't tend to bother when they're just plain wool. But, you know, cashmere again goes for, you know, in the 20s if you've got the right style and colours. Delving down my bag. This was another one from my, my bundle, so this cost me just over £2. It's a hard pattern to show, isn't it? It's not camouflage, but it's quite cool. Got these puffy sleeves. It's French Connection, and I see quite a bit of French Connection about, and I'm going to have a moan about something with French Connection in a minute. But this has bows down the back. So it's got a bit of a feature of bows down the back, right the way down towards the hem. That's going to be a nightmare to photograph. I'm going to have great fun with that. It's a bit unusual, but it's a nice design. I think it was a 12, this one. A 12, yeah. So for a couple of quid, you know, that's going to make me 17, something like that. French Connection certainly isn't cheap when you buy it, but it doesn't always go for a lot of money. It just depends on the style. And it's worth researching the style as much as the brand sometimes, because you don't want to shortchange yourself. Now, I have found a little bit that goes with that fantastic peasanty skirt. Is it that way up, probably? I don't know. That way up? That looks better, yes. Now, what I want to do, of course, is find some ribbon. Because if I'm going to try and photograph this, this looks nothing on its own. And it's probably red ribbon, red or blue ribbon that would have gone across there. So I'm going to do that. We're very short of anything approaching a haberdasher's in my little place, so that might take a while to list. But it's just so charming. I can't tell you why. It's a texture thing, it's a pattern thing. And someone's obviously made that with a lot of love and care. Ooh. Ew. Right. Oh yes, well these were part of a bundle from a way back that I thought, you know what, I'll wear these for yoga. I don't know if it's just me, but you know these are lovely thick. Sometimes you get exercise leggings that are so thin that they're almost tights, and then you'll see someone walking around in town not realising plainly that areas where the fabric stretches, it thins. You don't know what to do, because there's someone walking around thinking, I'm wearing my fitness leggings and aren't I fit? And actually you're walking behind thinking, you're wearing tights, love, and I can see everything bar the handprints. It's just a worry. So I got this nice thick pair thinking, brilliant for yoga. And then when I wore them the once, I realised that actually they was right down. Maybe it's because I'm tall, I don't know what it is. But when the cropped parts company with where it's meant to go, then that's not a good thing, whether you're in a yoga class or not. So I will pass these on to someone who's better proportioned, perhaps I should say, and then try and find some for myself. But it makes a change for them not to be black. There we go, so they're not going to go for much. It's not really a haul. That'll bring a bit. Oh, yes. This was another one that was only a couple of quid. Long denim skirts. I've got a few of these on now. The more ruffles, the more detail, the more fripperies they have. This is a button front rather than a side zip, which I don't find so comfortable to wear. I'd rather have a side zip. But it has these jeansy pockets. And this was Peruna. Peruna are just fabulous for long dresses and, of course, skirts. And this is a 14 long. Now, when they say long, it's not always long for me, but they're longer than the average. And I do put them up. I try and put a lot of my skirts up for $19.99, and then I'll bring them back. Oops. Oh, there's just been a... Yeah. It's all on the floor now. Right. Okay. So. Oh, another brand that I picked up. I saw slightly accidentally and bought. As we probably all know by now, those gilets that have down in them particularly, or particular makes like Jules and stuff like that, are very highly sought after. But I paid £4 for this one, and this is a company that you might not have seen, but is worth keeping an eye out. A bit unusual, I've not seen this before. Penfield, and that says Penfield for life in the open. It's an American brand. It is a gilet, but what I tend to do is when I feel them, you can feel if they're down, if they're nylon. And this was down. So I was deeply chuffed to find out. What? I'm sorry, I've just seen something very odd on the label here. Close all zippers, blah blah blah, don't bleach. Tumble dry, lowest heat with clean tennis shoe. Really? I've got to find just one tennis shoe and put it in? I'm serious, it's not just me. I know you probably can't see. Clean tennis shoe. Lowest heat with clean tennis shoe. Tennis ball I could understand, because doesn't that supposed to help it all fluff up and puff up? Anyway, sorry, I've digressed. So yeah, I was like, nylon, filling goose down. Yay! I've got to do some more research on this, but I know I'm probably looking at 50 quid. Which isn't bad for something that cost me £4. It's quite a big bloke size, plainly, and it's in that sort of khaki country thing, colours. So yeah, Penfield, keep an eye out. Apparently they make quite a lot of different things, and they go for good money. I love a good accidental find. This is totally different. Yeah, this I found on a pound mill. I thought floors are kind of in. I know it's very summery and what have you, but people go on holiday, and it's in a nice big size, which is a 24, and I know how popular that is. This is another brand I haven't seen. I wouldn't say it's the highest quality fibre. Gemma Collins. She seems to specialise in dresses for the curvier lady, so it's a label that I haven't come across, but I think it does fairly well. So I've just seen a little snag on the, a little loose thread that I've got to sort. It needed a wash. It looked like someone had spilled a cup of tea down it inside. So we got rid of that and it all came out rather nice. So that's much more fragrant. Oh, I should get a few quid on that. Actually, talking of dresses and having to wash them, I sold a really nice French Connection dress, nice little black and white monochrome thing. A small size, admittedly, it was quite tiny. Sold it, off it went, and then I get a return, doesn't fit, didn't like it, sent back, and it all comes back bagged up, and I think nothing of it. I've got it back, I refund. I get it out of the bag. Body odour. Plainly someone had worn it for an occasion and then decided to return it. Now, funnily enough, I've found the lady who bought it. She has a Facebook account, she has an Instagram account, and I'm now trying to sort of friend her on Instagram or follow her on Instagram so that I can see her wearing it. I can't do anything about it because I've refunded, but there may be a small message that goes out, nice dress, shame you had to return it. Yeah, because I don't like being treated as a rental service. I know I can't do anything about it, and it's down to me, although I hate to say this, to sniff test what comes back. It's beyond fail. But, you know, I guess these things are going to happen. But I was, what was that wonderful phrase that Tom the English Picker used? It boils my piss. I love that phrase. It certainly had mine on the full turn. I was not impressed. So, lesson learned, sniff before refund. Right, next. A nice thing. I will pick up silk. It's red. It doesn't actually look like it's been worn. Someone's obviously bought it and left it packed away. It's got a belt on it. It is Chinese, so the brand is nothing recognisable. 100% silk, peony brand, made in Shanghai, China. But it was on the pand rail, so I couldn't not really. I know someone will have that. Lots of people like red. I like red. So that's got to go for a few quid. I mean, silk. I'll see. I've got to look up comps on similar brands. I haven't had time to do this since buying these. Okay, I did pay a little over the odds for this, and I think I thought it was less than it was. But hey, you know, we're all a bit distracted sometimes. But it's by the brand Q, K-E-W. They were very well known back in the 90s. I used to seek out their stuff because it was beautiful quality. Q. They're not in business anymore, as I understand it, but people still like. Oh look, strange tagging. People do still like their stuff. This is like a woolen skirt, and it's long and it's black, and it's a decent size. I think we've got a 12. That's actually quite a generous 12, to be fair. But that was rather lovely. So, and it's difficult to show because obviously it's black. I found the best way to photograph black is to not shine artificial light on it, to do it in natural light, and to turn it on a bit of an angle so any pattern just kind of jumps out. I photograph loads of black stuff, and I find that can work. And then when I've got it on eBay, when I've uploaded the pictures, then I will bump up the contrast and the brightness a bit just to make sure that it looks like it truly looks, rather than the way my camera's interpreted it. What I quite like here, and again I've kind of got to get it on an angle to show you, is that it's got this nice curved and shaped panels in it, so it's really well constructed. So it's got to be heading towards £20, I would have thought. Oh yeah, I love this. This I saw and I had to have. Did I check the label out? Yeah, I paid £5 for this actually, but I seem to have... I might have... Oh no, there it is. There's my label. Sorry, I'm wittering. This brand, I come across this every now and again. It's not the most common brand. There we go. Max Mara Weekend. I don't know if Max Mara does other labels, but Weekend is what I tend to see. And this, I know it's difficult to show, maybe I'll back up a bit. It's a really rather lovely jacket. It's sort of double-breasted. Oh, there we go. Oh God, left and right, what am I doing? Yeah, it's a double-breasted jacket, quite boxy. It does funny things to the screen, that colour. Dear God, that'll make you feel ill. But being monochrome, always classic, always sought after. It is, of course, mostly wool. I'm pretty sure it's 100% wool. Beautifully made. Nice cuff detail, slight military edge to it, which a lot of people really like. And every single button has Max Mara Weekend on it. And these buttons are huge. I mean, they're a good old size. I mean, it tends to be, if you get a brand that's got its name, no, it doesn't really show, got its name printed on its buttons, it's probably going to be high end. Yeah, pretty much. So I've got to do some research on that, but that could easily be a £40 jacket. Long tall Sally, never ignore long tall Sally. I mean, some things maybe like a t-shirt's not going to be worth picking up. And I think what I've got to do is I've got to do something with this, because it's got one of these old elasticated waistbands that actually needs a gentle tack. Needs to be tacked down. This is a big size actually. I think it was a 20. I did pay £3 for it, but again it's monochrome. It's doing funny things to the screen. It's a sort of a check, and it's a very, very long maxi skirt. In fact, it's slightly too long for me, and that's saying something. Mind you, it falls straight off me as well, but it's a really nice thing, and it's not a heavyweight one. It's a 20. There we go. I think that's the older Long Tall Sally label. I think they've got a, there we go, I think they have a better label now. There we go. But, you know, there are many tall ladies out there who appreciate having a maxi skirt that is actually a maxi skirt instead of halfway up their legs. Oh, I'll show you that at the end, because that's a strange one. Like all my stuff isn't a bit strange. More cashmere. This had a nice bloke neck. I love this colour. See, I don't look like I've dyed in this colour, not quite so much. Never in beige. But this is autograph. M&S. But M&S cashmere is a pretty lovely thing. And I think this was. I'll always double check the labels, because sometimes it can feel like cashmere and end up being nylon, which is quite revolting. Yeah, 100% cashmere, there we go. And what a fabulous thing. 3/4 length sleeves. No holes. So I'm hoping my cashmere is going to bring me some quick cash turnover fast. Someone was asking about storage, and what I do, particularly with anything with wool in it, is I do bag it. I put it in the clear bags, because I don't know if we have moths, but I never want to find out. So, and I've got all those clothes in there. If something gets made a meal of, I'll be very unhappy. So I just do that to avoid any mothy type problems. Now this was something I went back for. I'd seen it in there before. It looks pinkish, it is, and it looks like it's some old lady's nightie, plainly. What this actually is, the material is a very, very roughed up linen. It's like quite coarse, and you think, my God, why would anyone want to wear that? It's because it's really old. What someone has done is added this ruffling. Yeah, they've added buttons. And they put an additional bit around here. It wouldn't have originally had it. It would have been a plain work shirt. These things can go for a lot of money. Now someone's actually dyed this pink, and I think this one is probably going to be sold as is. And I paid £3 for it. It's probably vintage, it's probably antique. But I have seen and sold these in their proper kind of like natural flaxy sort of beigey colour for quite a lot of money, because they are proper old stuff, and some of them have more marks than others. Most people don't mind. I'll still get quite a few quid on this. Someone might want to take all the bits off, but I've got another one that's plain that's going to go up for a lot more money, because it's easy to take it back to how it should have been. I think they call them work shirts, chore shirts, turn of the century. It's a very everyday thing. It's a sort of garment that people just wore. And when I see one, I'm like, oh, how fantastic. So that's a bit of a I'm sure I had another bag really, but anyway, that's a bit of a kind of a summation of some of the bits I've picked up lately. I haven't even photographed these yet. I've got quite a lot to list that's been photographed, and I can feel it kind of backing up behind me. It's like, oh, got to get it all on. I've got quite a lot of things that I had been holding back for now, and as soon as this weather goes cold, I know I have a whole load of stuff that's going to shift quite quickly, so I've got to get it on. They're things I pick up throughout the year, and I'm being a bit mysterious not going into details, because much as I love to share, sometimes there are things you just kind of have to hang on to. But you know, if you find something that you know sells well, stockpile it, grab it, put it away, make it your speciality, and get the returns out of it come Christmas. Right, I think that's probably me done. I might try and do a live haul at some point. I will probably put some sales up, but I have to say that recently eBay has been so bizarre. It's been on, sell, 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 stop. Nothing, 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 sell. And it's like someone sitting there with a switch going, I know, we'll really get her going. Click, we're going on now. Oh look, she's really happy. She's got like, oh, she's had too many sales. She's too happy. I'm going to turn it off now. So yes, thank you. So eBay, yeah, it's odd. But as I've always said, I try and look at the month as a whole and not at individual days. But when you get a number of days where you're thinking, my 7-day total is going to be a bit piss poor this week, it's a bit hard to take. However, we have all the distractions of finding secondary school for small boy, and that's keeping us busy. So I better start selling a lot of stuff, because I will have to buy his uniform next year, and that's probably going to be deeply expensive. Anyway, I shall go. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy the videos, then please click like. If you'd like to subscribe, please do that. I think that's pretty much how it works. My technological grasp is poor, to say the least. So I shall see you again next time. Farewell.